Am I the asshole for buying a PS5 without my boyfriend and saying it's mine? My boyfriend, 26 male, and I, 26 female, have been together for about 8 months. We live together but have split financials. I worked hard and went to college, which is why I have a well-paid job. When I met my boyfriend, he didn't have a serious job, but he worked hard so we could live together, and he now has a job with a decent income. He makes less than me and the rent etc. are divided pro rata. I paid for the first month of our rent, alone, and for our holidays, and he still has to pay me back, but there's no rush as I don't need the money right away. We really love gaming together. He plays on his PS4 and I play on my Nintendo Switch. He mentioned he would like to buy a PS5 together so we can ditch the Switch, because it's lagging a lot. We did not talk about who would play on the PS4 and who would play on the PS5, but the costs would be split in half. I also said I would love to have a PS5, since I play on the Switch and it sucks. My boyfriend does not have enough money and still had to pay me back for the vacation, so he dropped the subject. But since we've been gaming a lot, my Switch is starting to annoy me. The console is slow and it does not have enough capacity to load my games. That's why I decided to buy a PS5. I have more than enough savings to do so. I texted my boyfriend I wanted to buy a PS5 later that day and I did. Now my boyfriend's pissed cause he wanted to buy a PS5 together. It would take several months before he would have enough savings, which is why I bought it myself. He also asked if the PS5 belonged to the both of us or just me. I responded that the PS5 is mine until he pays half of it, but he can always play on it if I'm not home. He got upset by this and said he was disappointed and I am being unreasonable. So, am I the asshole for buying a PS5 without my boyfriend and saying it's mine? Not the asshole. You've said he can use it and have ownership when he can afford it. I don't see what the problem is. He should be thankful your salary and hard work has allowed both of you to enjoy the PS5 sooner than if you waited for him to save. I think he's just insecure about money and probably feels like you just buying a PS5 whilst he's still catching up on his debt to you is making him feel inferior. That's a him problem, not a you problem. You're an adult with adult money that you worked hard for and can spend it as you please. Maybe you should tell him he can't play on the PS5 until he can afford it, since he seems so keen to bite the hand that feeds him. Not the asshole. I am struggling to see his perspective here. I understand that you discussed buying the PS5 together at some point, but he can't afford it. You bought it anyway, and you're still offering to let him use it when you're not. What more does he want? To me it sounds like he's jealous because he wants to play the PS5 and possibly stick you with the PS4. I just can't understand why else this would matter so much to him. 8 months isn't very long. If you didn't live together yet but were thinking about it, I'd encourage you to wait longer. He's already relying on you financially. To me, there are some pink flags here. Be careful. Not the asshole. He wanted you to pay half to get the hand-me-down PS4. This isn't really a shared asset. Don't take his money if he offers it later or he will demand the PS5 inches the breakup. Not the asshole. He wanted to buy it together so you would get the PS5 and you would get the PS4 when you play together. When your Switch was the lesser of the two gaming systems, did he ever offer to let you use the PS4 and he would use the Switch so you weren't frustrated while playing? My guess is no. So you have yours and he has his, and letting him use the PS5 when you are not is a nice offer. He can upgrade his system when he can afford it. You two shouldn't buy items together at this point anyway. Because if you break up, who gets what? I don't know. When I was in a serious relationship and I knew I wanted to be with that person in the future, we didn't split the assets. There were times when I made more than my boyfriend, and other times when my boyfriend made more. Now I've been with my boyfriend for 5 years, we have kids, a small company, a house. We're not married, but we still don't divide things. Sometimes I buy things, sometimes he buys things. We pay for food and housing together, but if it happens that the one doesn't have enough money right now, the other one pays for it. We're partners and we live together. It would seem strange to me to forbid him from using things at home or to ask him to pay for half of the things I bought so he can use them. Not the asshole, by the way. If he tries to pay you later, don't accept it. When this relationship inevitably ends, you don't want to argue over this thing. Am I the asshole for requesting my nanny baby's mom to stop popping in to visit? I just started nannying for a 6-month-old as her mom started work again 2 weeks ago. She is a lovely woman who works from home upstairs while I watch baby downstairs. Baby and I are getting along great and mom likes to come down for nap time on her lunch and put baby down. That's super helpful actually and works great. What doesn't work so great is that she comes down to pop in every hour or so, which creates a screaming fit when she inevitably leaves again after 2 minutes. It's definitely not about not having trust in me. She has cameras in every room besides bathroom. It's just that she misses baby. Which I get and feel for her. But it's torture to deal with and baby gets so upset. I, extremely politely, asked if she could maybe limit the pop-ins to once or twice a day. She said she would but had been cold towards me now. Was it wrong of me? Info. Did you explain why you're asking this? Or did you just ask her to leave you alone with her child more often? Like, not accusing you of anything, but on its face that request sounds very odd. The context really changes things. It's always how you say something and only sometimes is it what you say. There's a huge difference in, hey, can you stop coming in every few hours? And, I've noticed, baby, gets very upset after you return to work from your breaks. I know she's upset because she misses you. How do you think we should handle this situation? I really hate seeing her so upset. The mom wants to see her baby as much as she can. The most I would suggest saying is that oh my goodness she gets worked up with pop-ins. But seems to me you're being paid to alleviate mom's concerns, not the other way around. When my youngest came along we had him in the on-site nursery at work. They specifically banned visits in between drop-off and collection for this reason the kids get distressed. Respectfully, your employer does not care what you are dealing with as that's what you're being paid to do. But they should be mindful of upsetting the kid several times a day unnecessarily. No one is the asshole. You are being paid to watch that child so mom doesn't have to miss out completely. Finding a way to do the pop-ins so baby isn't so fussy is okay but trying to limit them is not. Not the asshole, but it clearly didn't go well. So approach her as an adult. Apologize for being a bit insensitive. Then explain that the baby gets upset when she leaves and that was your primary concern. Then ask how you can work together to sort this out. Approach it as a team. Make this an us against the problem. The problem being the baby getting upset. You got this. Mom is new to this too. It will be okay. Am I the asshole for refusing to fund my boyfriend's genius idea? I, F24, have been dating my boyfriend, M29, for 3 years, and while he's always been a bit wacky I usually find it kind of endearing. This time however, he's really outdone himself. A few weeks ago, he told me he had a groundbreaking idea that would change humanity forever. Entertaining him, I asked what it was. His answer? He wants to invent a new color. Before we go any further it's important to note we are both college graduates. I graduated in biochemistry last year and my boyfriend in philosophy a few years before, which makes this all the wilder I guess. I tried to gently point out that colors exist as part of the visible spectrum of light, so unless he was about to discover some new wavelength, this might not be possible. But he waved me off, calling me close-minded, and saying he was enlightened in a way you'll never be. At first, I just nodded and let him ramble about his vision. But then he told me he needed funding to start his research. Specifically, he wanted me to give him $4,000 so he could buy supplies, including advanced art tools, a lab coat, because apparently, scientists wear them, so it would make him feel smarter, and, wait for it, a trip to the desert because he thinks the pure sunlight there will inspire him. I told him absolutely not. I'm saving for grad school, and even if I weren't, I'm not dropping thousands of dollars on his, whatever this is. He got mad, saying I didn't believe in him or his potential to revolutionize human perception. He even accused me of being jealous that he had a world-changing idea, and I didn't. It got really heated and he ended up saying a lot of things about using my card as he knew the details anyway. For reference he's been unemployed for a while now, whilst I've got a regular job. I ended up saying some things I do regret, but a lot of it was retaliation. Now he's sulking and telling everyone I'm unsupportive and afraid of innovation. His friends are backing him up, saying I should be encouraging his creativity instead of crushing his dreams. Am I the asshole for refusing to fund his quest to invent a new color? Edit. In terms of drugs we smoke weed occasionally but haven't in the past few weeks. I've never seen him do any other drugs nor have I found any in the house. So I don't know if I can really blame this on a bad trip. Second edit. Thank you guys for all the advice. I've moved the majority of my money into my second bank account for now which I'm pretty sure he doesn't have access to. In terms of his mental health I'm not in the habit of sharing his personal history online but seeing all your comments I do agree that this might be a mental health issue and I'm going to attempt to approach him with the idea of a consultation tomorrow. If anyone has any advice on that please let me know as I don't want it to come across as insulting. I know he was down after his job but the comments have got me more worried about more serious illnesses that he may have. Saying he was enlightened in a way you'll never be. With his superior enlightened brain he should easily be able to figure out how to make $4,000 himself. Not the asshole, but you would be if you allowed the delicate genius to demean himself by begging for money from a lesser intellect. He's obviously better than that. Edit. My reply was obviously glib, but there is the possibility he's having some sort of mental breakdown which requires professional attention. But I'm concerned about him. This sounds less like wacky than like a possible symptom of mental or neurological illness. I am not a doctor or a psychologist, but if someone close to me said this, and seemed serious about it, I'd be seriously concerned about their health. Real talk, has he also become very interested in God and or death and spirituality lately? This sounds eerily similar to a guy the first know before he got diagnosed with schizophrenia. Not the asshole. Don't fund this. Did he get this idea from Mantis Shrimp? He got this idea from Shrimp. This has to be fake. Not the asshole, and the new color is the red flags he's emitting. Am I the asshole for protecting my best friend's niece who recently lost a baby? I, 43 female, have had the same best friend, 43 female, since we were in kindergarten. We'll call her Rose. Needless to say, over the years her and her family have become my family. A few weeks ago, her niece, we will call her Megan, 24F, unexpectedly and very suddenly experienced the passing of her baby that was only a month old. My birthday is coming up soon, so I extended the invitation to Megan. I was hoping that having a night out with friends would give her an opportunity to have a distraction. I told her that it was completely up to her, of course, but she was more than welcome to join us. Given that many people in our friend group have had questions and curiosity surrounding the passing, I included a warning to the guests that discussion about the baby, and of course his passing, was off limits. I approved the message with Rose before posting it. It reads, "Hey ladies, for my birthday on the 25th, we're having dinner at local restaurant, probably around 5 p.m., then to local bar for a bit afterwards. Just so you know, Megan will be there and I'd appreciate everyone respecting her privacy. Discussion about the baby is off limits. We're there to have fun and I truly want her to be able to do that by any means necessary, as much as it is possible. Let me know in the next week or so if you'll be able to make it so I can give a head count for a reservation." This message caused one friend to call me crying because she thought it was directed at her and she was offended that I would think she'd do such a thing, necessitating a warning post. I explained that Megan is understandably very fragile right now and I was just trying to assure that no one said anything to upset her. This friend understood after our chat and everything was fine. About 24 hours later, another friend, who was honestly more the target of my post due to the fact that she was asking me questions at an event we had recently attended together, while Rose and Megan were not present, left the group chat and deleted me from social media. So, am I the a-hole for feeling the need to post a warning to protect Megan? Not the asshole, but you seem to have a number of friends who feel that the shoe fits. When you issue a general warning and they take as directed particularly to them, it's clearly guilty memory. What you sent was a reminder, not an accusation. Not the asshole. This message caused one friend to call me crying because she thought it was directed at her and she was offended that I would think she'd do such a thing, necessitating a warning post. But apparently good fucking call on the explicit warning. That is not the reaction of someone who behaves appropriately by default. Not the asshole at all. You're just being a solid friend and creating a safe space for Megan. It's like setting up a no-spoiler zone for a TV show, but way more important. Some might get salty over it, but really, they should just chill and respect the vibe check. Good on you for looking out. Not the asshole. I'd actually appreciate getting this heads up. I of course wouldn't be asking her questions or anything, but I would have wondered if I should let her know that I'm so sorry for her loss. If she wanted support and acknowledgement that she's going through a hard time, I wouldn't want her to walk away thinking no one cared. On the other hand, I wouldn't want to upset her. So knowing that she'd rather no one says anything so she can just try to have a good time would be really helpful. Oh my goodness. Her beautiful baby passed at 1 month. It breaks my heart and I don't even know Megan. You'd think others would feel the same, but no. You needed to say something. Not the asshole. If I can't figure out what I've done to make someone so angry they quit talking to me, I let it go. I'm not dumb nor a mind reader. Not the asshole. If you make a post saying, "Don't be a dick," and people respond as if they're being personally attacked, odds are they were planning on being a dick. Good on you for trying to protect her.